This is Matthew Cratter from Bitcoin University. Today I want to talk about the Aqua Wallet. This is a cool new non-custodial mobile wallet from Jan 3, which is Samson Mao's company. It's available for iOS and Android users. Its targeted audience seems to be users in Latin America, but I think it still makes sense for everyone to check it out and learn how to use it as one way of preparing for a high fee environment, as well as a great way of learning how the Liquid network works, for example. Now, some features are currently blocked for American users because of the hostile regulatory environment, but these may be re-enabled if we get a regime change later this year. I'll link to the Aqua Wallet website in the description notes below so you can take a look at it. Some necessary background for this: if you haven't seen my videos on the Liquid network, I'll link to them in the description notes below, Bitcoin and the Liquid network, as well as scaling Bitcoin with Lightning and Liquid. A quick review though, so you understand the terminology if you're new to the channel. Bitcoin network, often referred to as layer 1 or on-chain. This is the base layer, and this is the most self-sovereign, the most secure, but it also has the highest transaction fees, and it has slower final settlement, anywhere from 30 minutes to 60 minutes approximately for final settlement. The Lightning network is a layer 2 that uses payment channels. It's built on top of the Bitcoin network, and it uses the same currency, the same digital asset, which is BTC. And the Lightning network has lower transaction fees than on-chain Bitcoin and is very fast, though it does come with its own issues like managing liquidity, especially inbound liquidity. Then we have the Liquid network, which I discussed in both of those videos I referenced. The Liquid network is a layer 2 that doesn't use payment channels, but instead uses a pegged sidechain. It uses another blockchain, and this blockchain has lower transaction fees than on-chain BTC. Plus, it has 1-minute block times instead of 10-minute block times, with final settlement occurring after 2 blocks, which is just 2 minutes. So that's the Liquid network. For both Lightning and Liquid, BTC, Bitcoin, must be locked up on-chain on the base layer in order to be available for use on these layer 2s. And this ensures that Bitcoin's maximum supply is never increased beyond 21 million by issuing extra BTC on layer 2. So this solves the big problem. This is one way that Bitcoin is going to scale, among other ways. The problem is high transaction fees on-chain on layer 1. The solution to this is to try to do more stuff on layer 2s like Lightning and Liquid, and I think the Aqua Wallet is a great introduction into how this might work. So layer 1 on Aqua, as we're going to see in a moment, this is on-chain Bitcoin held in a hot wallet, so it's not appropriate for large amounts or cold storage, but you can still definitely hold some on-chain Bitcoin here. Layer 2 on Aqua, you can send and receive L-BTC, which is Bitcoin that is moved around using the Liquid network. You're always holding L-BTC on this wallet, especially in the spending accounts, as we're going to see, but you could also interact with the Lightning network. And when you need to send BTC over the Lightning network, your L-BTC will get swapped automatically by the wallet to Lightning BTC and then sent to the Lightning address that you designate. By contrast, when you need to receive BTC over the Lightning network, you receive Lightning BTC into the Aqua wallet, and it's immediately swapped to L-BTC, which is stored on Aqua. The advantages of this: you don't need to worry about channel management, as we discussed, inbound liquidity, and many of the advanced topics that come with self-custodial Lightning wallets, like the Phoenix wallet, for example, which unfortunately is not even available in the US anymore. The other thing about storing your assets in L-BTC on a wallet like this, rather than storing them in a Lightning channel, is you don't have to worry about forced closes that eat through your Lightning sats with high on-chain transaction fees. This is one problem. If your channel partner forces you to close the channel at a time of high fees on-chain and everything settles on-chain, a lot of your sats may be eaten up by these high on-chain transaction fees. If you're enjoying this video so far, I just ask you to help to support the channel. Please do subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, click the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, and share this video with a friend or family member. So I think in many ways it's accurate to think of Aqua as primarily a Liquid and L-BTC wallet. Liquid, as we discussed in that previous video, uses a different trust model than on-chain Bitcoin. You have to trust the Liquid functionaries not to rug you. This is an 11 out of 15 multi-sig in which they're holding the real BTC. Now, these functionaries are public, well-known companies in different jurisdictions that would suffer reputational damage if they became bad actors on the Liquid network. But this is one of the trade-offs. This is much more trust than you need on-chain. If you use the custodial wallet of Satoshi for Lightning, you need to trust one centralized actor not to rug you. So there are many different trust models in different wallets. By contrast, if you leave your Bitcoin on Coinbase, you need to trust one centralized actor, which is Coinbase, not to rug you. The nice thing about Liquid, you need multiple actors, all these different companies in different jurisdictions to collude in order to rug you. Now, some people will respond the same way they did when I made that Liquid network video. They'll say, but Bitcoin on Lightning or Bitcoin on Liquid is a shitcoin, and I refuse to use it. First of all, I would say it's not a shitcoin because you're locking up an equal amount of BTC on chain. This is real Bitcoin, just on different payment rails and with different trade-offs. But you can say you're going to refuse to use Lightning or Liquid, that's fine, but what are you actually going to do when on-chain fees are $500 to send a simple Bitcoin transaction? This is not a sign of failure for the Bitcoin network. This is a sign of success that everyone wants to use it for transactions. And so we can expect fees to ratchet up over time, and that's why it's important to begin to use these other tools like Lightning and Liquid. If on-chain fees are $500 to send a simple Bitcoin transaction and your stack is worth $5,000, you'll be blowing through 10% of it every time you send or spend. And that's why it's important to learn today how to use layer 2s like the Lightning Network and like Liquid. There's really no reason to use on-chain BTC to buy a coffee, and in a couple of years you won't be able to afford to use it for that. Hence, learn to use wallets like Aqua. So let's take a quick look at the Aqua wallet. I'm using it on iOS here. I've downloaded it. I'll open it up here, and you have the option to restore an existing wallet. If you have your backup for this wallet, your 12 words, you can just enter it there. And it's very important after we make our wallet to back up those 12 words. But let's just start by creating a new wallet. And I first need, it looks like I need to accept the terms of service. Okay, so it's creating a new wallet. Okay, we can see the home screen here. I'm first going to go to settings and show you how that works. You can change your language. I have it set to English. You can change your region as well. I'm going to turn on dark mode, which I like. If you're a fan of Bulgarian football, you can check out Botev mode. And then I like to change the default explorer to mempool.space. We will see how that works later. Advanced settings, you can go in here, and it's important to write down your seed phrase, your 12 words. You can click, I'm not going to do it right now, but you can click view seed phrase, and that will allow you to do it. And then if you ever need to delete your wallet, especially after you've recorded your seed phrase and stored it safely, you can just press delete wallet there. So that's basically under settings. Let's go to wallet and take a look at the home screen. We have two different sections of the home screen, and I really like how Aqua has divided these up. We have the savings account, which is BTC on-chain, and then we have the spending accounts, which is Liquid and Lightning BTC, as well as Tether USDT, the US dollar stablecoin, which we'll talk about in a moment. It's very simple here. If you want to send and receive, you just click on the send and receive buttons at the top. So why don't we do that right now? Why don't we receive some Bitcoin into the Bitcoin savings account? We're going to receive BTC, and here is the address. We'll just copy this address, and then I'm going to go over to my Strike account. I'm going to send it to this address. I will paste it. I'm going to send over 50,000 sats, about $33. Current prices. I'm going to send it priority just to get this done. I'll click next, and I will click confirm. While we're waiting for that to send, we can go back to Aqua and we can receive some Bitcoin using Lightning. So you can either click receive up here. You can also go down here and click on Liquid and Lightning. We can click receive, and we need to specify the amounts. We'll do about 50,000 sats again. And you can see here I have the option of receiving Lightning or Liquid on this screen, but I will be receiving it over Lightning. It will immediately be converted to Liquid, to L-BTC. I'm going to generate an invoice here. Then I'm just going to copy the invoice, and I'm going to go back over to Strike. I'm going to send this time using Lightning. We will paste, and we can see the routing fee here is much more reasonable than when we sent it on chain. The routing fee is just 2 sats, which is a tiny fraction of a penny. We'll click confirm, and now it's being sent over to Aqua. Now we can go back to Aqua and see if our Bitcoin has arrived. We can see the on-chain Bitcoin is sitting here in the savings account. It has not yet received one block confirmation yet, so it still has that little clock there, but we can see it's 50,000 sats. And if we go over here and look under Liquid and Lightning, we can see that we have received the 50,000 sats. Now, why is it not 50,000 sats? We paid a 2 sat fee to have it sent over, but we were expecting to receive 50,000 sats. The reason it's a little bit less is because that fee was used to pay an on-chain transaction fee on the Liquid network and convert the Lightning back to Liquid, as well as pay the swap provider, whom I believe is Bolts. But we can just click on here and we can see all the data for that. The service fee, 165 sats, which was paid to the Bolts exchange, which is what Aqua uses for these swaps. So that's basically how you move the money into your wallet. You can also send the money out. You can click send, and then you can send over Lightning, over Liquid, over Tether, or over on-chain using on-chain Bitcoin. Now, if we take a look at this screen, we can see it's a little bit different from what we're seeing online. Online, we can see that at least in some jurisdictions, there's this swap functionality under spending accounts. And I'm really sad we don't have it in the US. It was obviously removed from the app for regulatory reasons. But this swap function, it looks like allows you to swap between Lightning Bitcoin, Liquid Bitcoin, Bitcoin on-chain, as well as USDT, US dollars, stable coins. And so if you're in a different country from the US, you may be able to see this swap button here right next to spending accounts, which makes this a very flexible wallet as well. So that's basically how it works in terms of sending and receiving on-chain and using layer 2s as well. I want to address really briefly here the question of Tether and USDT stablecoins. First of all, Tether truthers, which you might see on Twitter, are idiots. These are the people who say Bitcoin pumps because Tether issues more USDT. This is simply not true. Bitcoin pumps because it's the best hard money in the world and because banksters, fiat banksters, keep issuing more fiat. There's the question, is USDT fully backed by real collateral like US Treasuries? I strongly believe that it is at this point. Basically, Tether's making so much money that they don't need to cheat on this level. There's the question, what if USDT depegs from US dollars or Tether ends up rugging people? Then you're definitely in trouble if you're holding USDT, and this is why Bitcoin, BTC, is my stablecoin. But that being said, we have to look at this as well from the perspective of people in developing countries who don't have access to US banks and use USDT because they want US dollars and they don't want the volatility that comes with Bitcoin. Of course, if you hold US dollars, you lose purchasing power over time. And this way, USDT is very similar to USD. USD held in US banks can be frozen at any time and is guaranteed to lose purchasing power. USD stablecoins like USDT can be frozen and are guaranteed to lose purchasing power over time. If you still use one of the big banks in the US and hold USD, I don't think that you have the moral high ground, and I don't think that I have the moral high ground to judge people in developing countries who use another form of the US dollar in terms of USDT, the Tether US dollar stablecoin, if they use it on Ethereum or Tron or the Liquid network. Now, Tron and ETH are obviously shitcoins. They're going to continue to trend to zero against Bitcoin. You should never own them or buy them. US dollar is a shitcoin as well. It's going to continue to trend to zero against Bitcoin. I'm also not naive about Tether. At this point, it appears to be the equivalent of a large offshore bank that's in compliance with the US government, just like onshore US banks. Tether announcing in December of last year that they've onboarded US Secret Service and FBI to their platform. And I think this is the compromise you need to make when you're really big. Even if you're offshore, you need to contend with the US government, and you have to decide whether you want to go to jail or whether you want to bend the knee. And now Tether does bend the knee. They'll freeze wallets when the US tells them to, etc. But in many ways, this is no worse than the service you would receive at Wells Fargo or Bank of America or JP Morgan. And I think the Aqua Wallet, by integrating USDT, and I should say by integrating it, they're basically giving people in Latin America what they want. They're giving them US dollars in the form of USDT, and they're giving them Bitcoin. But I think they've done something pretty sneaky here to try to drain USDT liquidity from Ethereum and Tron, those payment rails, and move it over to Bitcoin. You can accept Ethereum USDT or Tron USDT on this wallet, and I think you saw it when I clicked the receive button there. But as you receive it, it's going to be immediately converted to USDT on the Liquid network. In other words, on a Bitcoin native asset network rather than Tron or Ethereum. Also, this is the way it drains liquidity because it encourages people to use USDT using Liquid because it's much cheaper than sending USDT using Tron or Ethereum. So the Aqua Wallet can help to move USDT shitcoiners from these inferior chains over to Liquid. Holding USDT is obviously inferior to holding Bitcoin, but it's almost always much better than holding your local non-USD fiat money like Argentine pesos or the Venezuelan bolivar. Is USDT Tether a distraction from onboarding people to Bitcoin? Yes, it definitely is, but so is the US dollar, which everyone outside the US desperately wants to hold even more than they want to hold Bitcoin at this point. Eventually, everyone who holds a local fiat currency in these countries will end up poor relative to those who hold USD or USDT, and everyone who holds USD or USDT will end up poor relative to those who hold BTC. So I think this is some of the context we have to think about when we see USDT on this app. And Aqua does a good job of showing you the different fees that you'll pay using stablecoins on Liquid versus, I don't even know what Woo is, but versus Ethereum and Tron. Tron is where most of the USDT, most of the Tether stablecoins take place. If we take a quick look at the Liquid network here and take a look at the latest fees, this is L-BTC, but it's equivalent of BTC, and it's, what is it, 279 sats to send this transaction. By contrast, it's much, much higher, probably 3,000 or 4,000 sats as we saw on chain. But if we compare 279, let's just convert this to dollars really quickly so we can think of the equivalent. So that's just 19 cents today to send Tether, to send USDT on the Liquid network. If we compare that to Tron, it's more like $1.50 to send a TRC20 token. I think that's what USDT is on Tron. And so this is a fraction of that. This is about a tenth of that. If we take a look here too, we can see that Tron transaction fees have trended up over time. I think you can divide this in half if you're talking about sending USDT, but they've definitely been moving up over time as the network has become more popular. And this is another reason that people who use the Aqua Wallet will begin to realize they can send USDT using Liquid rather than using Tron. Now, what are some uses for the Aqua Wallet for all of us? One obvious use, you can take it to Latin America on vacation if you're from the US or Canada or something like this, and you can pay people using Bitcoin either on-chain, Lightning, or Liquid. You can also pay people using US dollars, and you don't have to worry about bringing US dollars. You can just pay them using USDT, which is pretty convenient. You don't have to deal with Western Union. You don't have to convert your money at the airport. Number two, you can use it to get paid or pay people using Liquid Bitcoin, L-BTC, or using Lightning. Now, this Aqua Wallet, it's not as good as a pure Lightning mobile wallet for small amounts like sending 21 sats here or 100 sats there, because every time you do need to pay those conversion fees on Liquid, and even if they're just 19 or 20 cents, that will add up over time, and 21 sats is a lot less than 19 cents. So you don't want to use it for small payments like that. You might want to use a Lightning wallet, but then of course you either have to use a custodial Lightning wallet like Wallet of Satoshi, or you have to figure out how inbound liquidity works. If you're going to use something like Phoenix, if you're not an American, you're able to even get access to it, maybe on a foreign phone. Number three use for the Aqua Wallet. You can buy Bitcoin on an exchange like Bull Bitcoin, for example, in Canada, and then withdraw to your Aqua Wallet over Lightning or over Liquid. I believe Bull Bitcoin allows you to withdraw on-chain or using Lightning or Liquid. This is especially helpful when layer one transaction fees are very high. And then as it comes into your Aqua Wallet, if it comes over Lightning, it will be converted to L-BTC to be stored. If it comes over as Liquid, it's already L-BTC. Number four, stack L-BTC on Aqua. In other words, you can buy it on the exchange rather than leaving it on the exchange. You withdraw it over Lightning or Liquid, store it as L-BTC on Aqua, and then when you have more than 1 million sats, which is sort of the recommended size for a chunk of Bitcoin these days for UTXO, then you can swap your L-BTC into BTC and send it to your hardware wallet, hold it in cold storage on-chain as BTC. If you don't have access to that swap functionality on the Aqua Wallet, it looks like you can do it directly just going to the Boltz exchange in a browser, and you can swap here between Liquid and on-chain Bitcoin, or you can swap between Lightning and Bitcoin. You can also swap between Bitcoin and Lightning Bitcoin. There is a fee for this, about 5,000 sats is the current network fee, and then Boltz charges just a fraction, 1/10 of 1%. So that's an introduction to the Aqua Wallet. I think it's a really cool thing, and using it will teach you as well how the Liquid network works and how Liquid to Lightning swaps work as well. So I think it's a very educational wallet in that way. And there may come a time when on-chain fees are very high, and you'll be very happy that you have an easy way to use L-BTC and not have to worry about on-chain transactions that may come with using Lightning in a high-fee transaction environment. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the subscribe and like buttons. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video, and let me know your questions and comments in the comments section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.